بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. قال مرعي بن يوسف: باب الفدية، وهي ما يجب بسبب الإحرام أو الحرم، وهي قسمان: قسم على التخيير وقسم على الترتيب. فقسم التخيير كفدية اللبس والطيب وتغطية الرأس وإزالة أكثر من شعرتين أو ظفرين، والإمناء بنظرة، والمباشرة بغير إنزال مني. ويخير بين ذبح شاة أو صيام 3 أيام أو إطعام 6 مساكين لكل مسكين مد بر أو نصف صاع من غيره. ومن التخيير جزاء الصيد يخير فيه بين المثل من النعم أو تقويم المثل بمحل التلف، ويشتري بقيمته طعاما يجزئ في الفطرة، فيطعم كل مسكين مد بر أو نصف صاع من غيره، أو يصوم عن طعام كل مسكين يوما. وقسم الترتيب كدم المتعة أو القران وترك الواجب والإحصار والوطء ونحوه، فيجب على متمتع وقارن وتارك واجب دم، فإن علمه أو ثمنه فإن علمه أو ثمنه صام 3 أيام في الحج، والأفضل كون آخرها يوم عرفة، فيصح أيام التشريق، و7 إذا رجع إلى أهله. ويجب على محصر دم، فإن لم يجد صام 10 أيام ثم حل. ويجب على من وطئ في الحج قبل التحلل الأول أو أنزل منيا بمباشرة أو استمناء أو تقبيل أو لمس بشهوة أو تكرار نظر بدنة، فإن لم يجدها صام 10 أيام 3 أيام في الحج، و7 إذا رجع. وفي العمرة إذا أفسدها قبل تمام السعي شاء. والتحلل الأول يحصل ب2 من رمي وحلق وطواف، ويحل له كل شيء إلا النساء، والثاني يحصل بما بقي مع السعي إن لم يكن سعى قبل.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك وأنعم على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
الشيخ حفظه الشيخ Sayyid Ḥabīb, he started off by praising Allah and sending salat and salam upon his messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and then he said as for what follows.
بقي عندنا بعض من محظورات الإحرام. وصلنا إلى القسم السابع: الوطء في الفرج ودواعيه، والمباشرة دون الفرج والاستمناء.
He said it still remained that we had to complete some of the things that were from the mahdurat, or the prohibited actions in the state of ihram. And he said we had reached to the 7th one, which was intercourse or in the private part, or that which leads to it or calls to it, or touching and somewhere other than the private.
طبعا بالنسبة للجماع أو الوطء في الإحرام في حال الإحرام هذا محرم أو حرام بإجماع العلماء.
And he says, and of course this intercourse while in the state of ihram or while performing or making hajj is something that is haram with the consensus of the scholars.
لقوله تعالى: فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج وهو الجماع ومقدماته.
And this is based on his statement ta'ala that is translated, then there should be no rafath, nor any corruption or fusuq, nor any jidal or argumentation in hajj. And he says, and this is explained as being intercourse and the things that lead or call to it.
وهو أشد المحظورات إثما وأعظمها أثرا في النسك.
And it is the most severe of the prohibited actions as far as in regards to the sins that it brings, and likewise in regards to how it corrupts or affects the ritual acts of hajj or umrah.
طبعا الجماع في الحج له حالات.
And of course, this intercourse and while performing Hajj, there is two types of conditions or situations where it can occur in.
الحالة الأولى
He said there's multiple situations that can occur.
أن يكون الجماع قبل الوقوف بعرفة وبعد الإحرام. في هذه الحالة حجه فاسد بإجماع العلماء. إذا حصل الإجماع بعد الإحرام وقبل الوقوف بعرفة فإن الحج فاسد بإجماع العلماء.
He says, so the first one of them is that the intercourse were to take place after making ihram, but before standing at Arafah, then this person's ihram has become fasid or corrupt with the consensus of the scholars.
الحالة الثانية أن يكون الجماع بعد الوقوف بعرفة وقبل التحلل الأول.
He said this, the next situation is that it would occur after standing at Arafah, but before the first tahallul.
جماهير العلماء في هذه الحالة أن حجه فاسد ويلزمه 5 أمور.
The majority of the ulama are upon the opinion that this person's hajj is now fasid and it is necessary upon him 5 affairs.
الأمر الأول حجه فاسد، الثاني عليه الإثم، الثالث المضي في الحج الفاسد، والرابع القضاء من العام القادم، والخامس الكفارة المغلظة وهي بدنة.
He said, so the first one of them is that his hajj is to be considered to be fasid, and likewise the second of them is that he gets to sin, and likewise the third is that he must continue in this corrupt hajj. And fourthly, it must be made up in the next year. And then lastly, he has to do an expiation for this, or the kafara that is extreme in its the extreme version of the kafara.
الحالة الثالثة أن يكون الجماع بعد التحلل الثاني، هذا جائز ولو كان في الحج ولا شيء عليه. إذا كان بعد التحلل الثاني لا شيء عليه.
The third situation is that the intercourse would occur after the second tahallul, and in this situation the intercourse is permissible and there's no penalty or anything based upon it occurring.
الحالة الرابعة أن يكون الجماع بعد التحلل الأول وقبل طواف الإفاضة.
The fourth situation that it might occur in is that the intercourse would occur between the first tahallul and after the first tahallul, but before the tawaf of al-ifada.
في هذه الحالة قال العلماء هذا محرم بالاتفاق، أي لا يجوز له أن يجامع قبل طواف الإفاضة وبعد التحلل الأول، لكن إن فعل قالوا حجه لا يفسد باتفاق الأئمة الأربعة.
He said, so the ulama said that this action is haram upon him, meaning that if he were to have intercourse before the tawaf of al-ifada, but after the first tahallul, then this is something that is haram upon him to do with the consensus of them. But at the same point in time, this is not considered to make his hajj fasid or corrupt, and this is based on the consensus of the 4 schools of thought.
واختلف العلماء في هذه الحالة هل يجب عليه ويلزمه بدنة أم فدية على قولين. القول الأول يلزمه فدية أذى إلحاقا له بسائر المحظورات، وهذا قول قوي. والقول الثاني أنه يلزمه بدنة كما لو جامع قبل التحلل الأول.
He said, and the scholars disagree about what is necessary upon this individual who occurs in this type of situation. Is it necessary upon him to bring the fidya, or is it necessary upon him to bring the sacrificing of the camel, for example? So he says, so some of them say that upon him is to bring the fidya like he was to be done in the same situation of someone who had a harm that he did, that he had a harm that was happening, he was did something that necessitated him bringing the fidya. And the other scholars say no, upon him is that he sacrificed his camel.
من المحظورات أيضا مباشرة الزوجة دون الفرج، هذا أيضا محظور من محظورات الإحرام.
He says, and from the things that are from the mahdurat or from the prohibited actions in the state of ihram is also rubbing or touching upon your wife in a place other than her private part.
فإذا باشر الإنسان المحرم زوجته فلا يخلو من حالتين.
So if an individual who was in a state of ihram was to touch or to rub his wife, then this will be done. It will not be except done out of 2 types of situations.
الحالة الأولى ألا ينزل، أي لا ينزل منه المني. في هذه الحالة حجه لا يفسد وعليه فدية أذى.
So the first type of situation is that he would not ejaculate, meaning no semen would come out of him due to this. So in this situation, it is his hajj does not become corrupt, and he should be mandated to give the fidya of adha or harm.
الحالة الثانية أن ينزل أي يحصل منه الإنزال، فهل يفسد حجه؟ في هذه الجماهير العلماء قالوا لا يفسد حجه وعليه فدية أذى على القول الصحيح.
And then the second situation is that he would ejaculate or semen would come out. So in this situation, does his hajj become fasid or corrupt or not? On the opinion of the majority or the jamahir of the ulama, they say that his hajj does not become fasid, and it is mandated upon him now in this situation likewise to give the fidya of adha based on the correct statement.
من المحظورات أيضا الاستمناء، أي الاستمناء معروف. طيب هذا محرم، ولو فعله فإن حجه صحيح وهو آثم وعليه فدية أذى.
From the prohibited actions also is masturbation. And so masturbation is something that is known, obviously, and he said, and so from the actions that are prohibited during ihram is masturbation. If a person were to do this, then it would be mandated upon him the fidya of adha.
لكن إن فكر فأنزل في هذه الحالة لا شيء عليه على الصحيح من أقوال أهل العلم.
But if one were to just think, and by way of thinking ejaculate, then there's nothing upon him, or there's nothing necessary upon him based on that which is correct from the statements of the people of knowledge.
يقول المؤلف وفي جميع المحظورات الفدية إلا قتل القمل وعقد النكاح.
And then the author, he says, and in all of these prohibited actions, it is necessary the fidya, except in killing the lice or in making a marriage contract.
سيأتي معنا تفصيل الفدية وما يجب في كل محظور من الفدية، لكن هنا نقول الفدية هي التخيير بين ثلاثة أمور.
He said, and it will come shortly the explanation of what is the fidya and what is necessary upon someone who did any one of these mahdhurat. But for now, we'll say that the fidya means the person is given the choice between three actions.
وهذه الأمور الثلاثة ذبح شاة أو إطعام 6 مساكين أو صيام 3 أيام.
And these three affairs, should I say, these three affairs would either be that he would slaughter a sheep or feed 6 miskin or masakin, or he would fast for 3 days.
إلا قتل القمل، هذا تقدم معنا على الراجح أنه ليس أصلا محظور، يعني ليس هناك دليل في عدم قتل القمل، لكن بعض العلماء جعلوه محظورا من محظورات الإحرام. وعلى هذا القول أيضا لو أن المحرم قتل القمل فلا شيء عليه، ليس عليه فدية.
And he says, as far as killing the lice, then it's already preceded with us that this is not something that is mahdhur or something that is prohibited to begin with. And so since some of the scholars said that killing them is something prohibited, even based on that statement, we would say there would be nothing based upon the one who killed them in this situation, any fidya to begin with, based on that which is correct.
وعقد النكاح، إذا عقد المحرم النكاح تقدم معنا أن هذا من محظورات الإحرام، لا يجوز للمحرم أن ينكح لنفسه أو ينكح غيره وأن لا يخطب أيضا، فهذا من المحظورات. إن فعل ذلك هذا آثم وعليه التوبة ونكاحه غير صحيح.
He says, and as far as making a marriage contract, we already mentioned that the muhrim, the person in the state of ihram, he does not marry himself, he does not get married himself, nor does he give someone else away in marriage, nor does he propose. But if he were to do this, then upon him is the sin, and he needs to make tawbah. But there is nothing upon him as far as mandated upon him of things that he needs to do beside this, based on what is correct from the statements.
But if he is to do so, his nikah is
النكاح باطل، لا يصح عدم صحة النكاح.
He said, but if he does so, then the marriage is not sound, the marriage is not valid.
وفي البيض والجراد قيمته مكانه، أي إذا أفسد بيض الصيد أو قتل المحرم الجراد، وهكذا من قتله في الحرم فيلزمه قيمته مكانه، أي في مكان إفساده.
He said, in as regards to the eggs or the locusts, then they have their value has to be put back in place. Meaning that if a person was to cause problems or corrupt or damage the eggs of the hunted animals, or if he were to kill locusts in this situation in the state of ihram, or likewise in the haram itself, then in this situation he needs to replace these things with the value of them.
ثم يشتري بهذه القيمة طعاما يتصدق به على مساكين الحرم.
So with the value that he has of these things, he would then go and buy with the value of it food, and then he would use that food to feed poor individuals in the home.
وفي الشعرة أو الظفر إطعام المسكين وفي الاثنتين إطعام اثنين.
He says in regards to the affairs that connect to hair or the nails, they have to feed a miskin individual, and as far as in regards to two, then he has to feed two.
معنى كلام المؤلف لو أن أحدا من المحرمين أزال شعرة واحدة أو ظفرا واحدا فعليه إطعام مسكين واحد، ولو أزال شعرتين أو ظفرين فعليه إطعام مسكينين.
So the meaning of the author's statement here is that if an individual in the state of ihram were to remove one hair or remove one nail, then he would need to feed one miskin individual. And if he were to remove two, then he would need to feed two.
لكن هذا التفصيل الذي ذكره هو المذهب عند الحنابلة.
But these details that he mentioned, of course, is the school of thought with the Hanabila.
قال العلماء هذا يحتاج إلى دليل، فأين في السنة ما يدل على ذلك؟ كأنهم يقولون لا دليل على ذلك من سنة النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام.
So the ulama, they say this situation needs evidence, and there's no evidence to point to this. So it's as if they're saying that there's no evidence to prove this from the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
إذا ما هو القدر الذي تجب فيه الفدية من حلق الرأس أو إزالة الشعر أو تقليم الأظفار؟ قال العلماء الراجح في القدر الذي تجب فيه الفدية إذا حلق ما به إماتة الأذى، إذا كان يتأذى من القمل أو من شيء آخر فحلق ما حصل به إماتة الأذى فهنا تجب عليه الفدية. فدية.
So therefore they say that what is the amount of hair removal or shaving the head or trimming the nails that necessitates this fidya? So from there is the statement of the ulama that if a person removes the amount of hair that he was being harmed with, meaning if he had lice or something and he removed the amount of hair that the harm was at. So if he removes the amount of hair or he removes the amount that the harm was found present therein, then on this person it is necessary that he give the fidya.
لكن ليس معنى هذا أن المحرم يتساهل ويقص بعض الشعر أو يزيل بعض الشعر أو يقص الظفر، فهذا لا يجوز. لكن إن فعل نحن نقول ليس عليه فدية. مثال ذلك لو أن إنسانا عقد نكاحا هذا آثم لا يجوز، لكن لا يجب عليه الفدية. فهنا أيضا نقول لا ينبغي له بل لا يجوز له أن يأخذ بعض الأشعار أو الظفر، لكن إن فعل ذلك ليس عليه الفدية إلا إذا حلق ما أمات به الأذى.
He says so, but a person shouldn't be lenient or very easy going about this and remove some of his hair or trim some of his nails. He shouldn't do this because of that. But instead, we would say that an example of this, we would say that he should not do so. An example of this is like the person who made the contract of marriage while in the state of ihram. We'll say he's sinning. So likewise in this situation, it's not permissible for him. Instead, it's haram for him to remove some of his hair or trim his nails in this situation. But if he was to do so, there's no fidya upon him.
But the fidya is when he removes.
Oh yeah, but the fidya is when he removes the portion of whatever the harm was present therein.
والضرورات تبيح المحظورات ويفدي. معنى هذا الكلام أن الإنسان لو احتاج إلى ارتكاب المحظور احتاج إليه عنده ضرورة، مثل الشخص عنده برد فاحتاج إلى لبس المخيط، أو هناك حرارة شديدة وعنده حساسية في الرأس فاحتاج إلى تغطية الرأس، فهنا يجوز له أن يرتكب المحظور فيغطي رأسه أو يلبس، لكن عليه الفدية.
He says, and the necessities make permissible these for the person in the state of ihram, these prohibited actions. An example of this is that these necessities that might come to a person make it permissible for him to undertake these prohibited actions while in the state of ihram. So for example, if it was very cold outside and a person needed to wear something that was makhit in this situation, or if the heat was very severe and in this situation he needs to put something that covered his head for this, then in both situations it now is permissible for him to undertake these prohibited actions, but upon him is the fidya.
بعدما انتهى المؤلف رحمه الله من بيان محظورات الإحرام بدأ بذكر الفدية أي ما يجب عند ارتكاب المحظور من الفدية.
So after the author rahimahullah had finished talking about these prohibited actions, he began now to tell us about what is this fidya. Meaning after talking about these mahdhur, he told us about what they necessitate, which is the fidya.
الفدية من فدى يفدي فداء. الفداء أو الفدية في الأصل هو المال الذي يعطى لفكاك الأسير.
He said the word fidya originally is from the word fada yafdi fida'an, which means, in originally speaking, the money that is used to free the prisoner.
هذا الذي يعطى عند ارتكاب المحظور سمي فدية. لماذا؟ في شبه لهذا لفكاك الأسير.
He said, so this what is given, or this money that is given in response for undertaking one of these prohibited actions has been called a fidya due to that which is in it from resembling this individual state with the freeing of a prisoner.
وذلك أن الذي ارتكب المحظور فكأنه وقع في مشكلة، كأنه أصبح أسيرا لهذا الإثم لهذا المحظور، فيحتاج إلى أن يفدي أن يقدم شيئا ليخلص نفسه من هذا الإثم أو من هذا المحظور، مثل الأسير يحتاج إلى أن نعطي المال حتى نفك الأسير من الأسر.
He said, so the individual who has done this action of this mahdur, or this prohibited action, then it's as if he has become a prisoner to this sin and a prisoner to this prohibited action. So he needs something that by way of it he can give it and become free, just like the prisoner can become freed from this imprisonment that he is in.
إذن فالفدية عندنا هي ما يجب لفعل محظور أو ترك الواجب، وسميت فدية استنادا لقوله تعالى ففدية من صيام أو صدقة أو نسك، حيث أن الله سماها فدية.
He said, so the fidya therefore is that which is to be given in recompense from doing a prohibited action or leaving a necessary or obligatory action, and it's been called a fidya taken from the statement of Allah Ta'ala that is translated, then a fidya from ta'am or food or sadaqah or charity or nusuk or slaughtering, meaning that Allah here called it a fidya.
المؤلف ذكر في هذا الباب أقسام الفدية، أحكام الفدية، ما يجب في الفدية، كذلك المستحق لأخذها، إلى من نعطي هذا الفدية هذه الفدية.
He said that the author mentioned here the types of the fidya and the rulings of the fidya and that which is necessary in regards to the fidya, and likewise those who deserve it, those individuals with the fidya can be given to them.
المحظورات من حيث أدلة لزوم الفدية تنقسم إلى قسمين. قبل أن نبدأ بشرح هذه المقدمة، إذن الأدلة على وجوب الفدية هذه المحظورات تنقسم إلى قسمين من حيث الأدلة على وجوبها.
He said the prohibited actions, but this is before we get into talking about the fidya, the prohibited actions in regards to how they necessitate the fidya being necessary because of them are broken into two categories.
القسم الأول ما ورد النص في لزوم الفدية وكذلك وبيان مقدارها، وهي الصيد والجماع وحلق الشعر. هذه ثلاثة أمور ورد النص في لزوم الفدية فيها وكذلك بيان مقدارها.
So the first category is that which the text has come in and explained and has proven directly the action the fidya itself as well as its amount, and these affairs are hunting, likewise intercourse, and likewise the removal or the shaving of hair. So the direct text, there is direct text in these affairs to show us the obligation of the fidya and likewise the amount that is necessary to be given.
النوع الثاني ما عدا هذه الثلاثة، فكلبس المخيط وتغطية الرأس وكذلك حلق الشعر والطيب ونحوها.
He said in the second category is that which is other than these things, like the wearing of something that is stitch or makhit, and likewise the covering of the head, or likewise the shaving of the head, and likewise the wearing of oils and طيب. Yeah, we already explained it before. It's just, the makhit, the clothing. You know what's the better word?
Well, the thing هو ترجمها يا شيخ اللي هو المخلط الخيط العادية.
لا، ليس الخيط العادي الذي يكون مفصل على بدن الإنسان وعلى عضو منها. نحن فصلنا هذا هنا.
يقول كلها مخيط، فإذا طالما أنها فسرت، لأنه في شيء ستيتش يفهم منها أنها
لا ليس كل مخيط، يعني نحن ذكرنا المخيط المعنى ذلك أن يكون مفصل على قدر الجسد أو على قدر عضو من أعضاء الجسد، لأن الرداء حتى لو كان هنا في مخيط لا بأس بذلك ما دام لم يفصل على قدر البدن أو على جزء من البدن.
The Shaykh Abū, I just wanted to re-explain and re-clarify the fact that when we said stitch, or it's not just anything that's stitched, the word makhit here means something that has been done in the shape of the body or a particular body part, as we've already explained before. So for that reason, when we say the word makhit, it's not just anything that's stitched. So if something that has stitching in it, it doesn't necessarily fall into that.
إذن قصدي أننا نعرف أن الصيد والجماع وحلق الشعر ورد في فديتها وفي مقدارها النص من الشارع في الكتاب، في القرآن الكريم وفي السنة.
He said, so therefore my intent is to show that hunting and likewise intercourse and likewise shaving of the hair, there is a direct text that has come in the obligation of the fidya and these things, and likewise the amount. And this text has come in the book as well as the sunnah.
أما ما عدا هذه الثلاثة من المحظورات لم يرد في فديتها نص.
As far as that which is outside of these three of the prohibited actions, then there is no direct text in them.
وجمهور العلماء على لزوم الفدية فيها كفدية الأذى وهي فدية حلق الشعر.
And the majority of the ulama are in the opinion that the fidya that is necessary therefore is the same as the fidya of adha, which is the removal of the hair.
طيب، المؤلف رحمه الله يقول وهي ما يجب بسبب الإحرام أو الحرام. هذا تعريف الفدية في الشرع، ما يجب بسبب الإحرام أو الحرام.
He says, so the author, he says, therefore then it is talking about the fidya, what is necessary by way of because of ihram or for being in the haram. He says that this is the definition in the religion or the religious definition of what is the fidya.
بسبب الإحرام كان يرتكب محظورا من محظورات الإحرام كالطيب وتغطية الرأس وحلق الشعر ونحو ذلك مما تقدم.
He said, and as far as that because of ihram, then this is if a person was to undertake one of the prohibited actions while in a state of ihram, like shaving of the hair or covering of the head or wearing of perfumes or anything else like this as already preceded.
أو الحرم مثل قتل الصيد في الحرم سواء كان القاتل محرما أو غير محرم. إذا لا يجوز قتل صيد الحرم ما دام في داخل الحرم حدود الحرم، لا يجوز للإنسان أن يقتل، إن قتل فعليه فدية.
And then he says, or because of being in the haram, he said this would be an example if a person was to kill one of the hunted animals in the haram, regardless if that individual was in a state of ihram or not in the state of ihram. So this individual, so it is not permissible to kill an animal in the haram, regardless if and the person who does this, then upon him is the fidya.
ثم إن محظورات الإحرام من حيث الفدية تنقسم إلى 4 أقسام.
And then likewise the maḥdūrāt or the prohibited actions due to ihram in regards to the fidya, they are also broken up into 4 categories as well.
القسم الأول ما لا فدية فيه وهو عقد النكاح. لا فدية فيه وهو عقد النكاح.
He said the first category is that which there is no fidya necessary because of it, and it is the contracting of marriage.
النوع الثاني ما فديته الجزاء أو المثل وهو قتل الصيد.
The second category is that which is fidya, is that it be replaced or it be given that which is equal to it, and that example is that of killing the animals or killing these hunted animals.
النوع الثالث ما فديته مغلظة وهي بدنة، وهذا هو الجماع قبل التحلل الأول.
And the third category is that which is fidya, is very severe, and it is the camel, and that is to have this intercourse after the first tahallul.
والقسم الرابع ما فديته فدية أذى وهي بقية المحظورات.
And as far as the fourth category, then this is that which is fidya, is the fidya of al-adha, and this is the remaining actions of the prohibited acts.
المؤلف رحمه الله يقول وهي قسمان، أي الفدية عند ارتكاب المحظور قسمان نوعان.
The author, he goes on to say that, and it is 2 types, meaning that the fidya in regards to when it is the maḥdūr is undertook or the prohibited act is done is in 2 types or 2 categories.
القسم الأول على التخيير، أي بين عدد من الأمور يفعل أحدها وتسمى هذه فدية أذى. هو مخير بين عدد من الأمور أن يفعل واحد منها، وهذه تسمى فدية أذى.
He said the first one of them is that which the individual is given the choice, meaning he does an action from the prohibited actions, and then he is given the choice of one of three things, and this is what is known as fidyatul adha, that he is given the choice to do one of these three things.
والقسم الثاني على الترتيب، أي لا ينتقل إلى الصنف الثاني حتى يعجز عن الذي قبله.
And the next category is the one where they are to be done in order, meaning he does not move or go on to the next category until he is incapable or unable to do the one of the category that he is in.
طيب، القسم الأول ما فديته على التخيير هذا نوعان.
So he said the first category, that which is fidya, is the person is given the choice, is in two categories also, or two types.
النوع الأول ما صاحبه مخير بين ثلاثة أمور.
The first type is that which the person who did it is given the choice between three affairs.
وهي ذبح شاة أو صيام 3 أيام أو إطعام 6 مساكين.
And these are the slaughtering of a sheep, or feeding, or fasting 3 days, or feeding 6 masakin.
والنوع الثاني ما صاحبه مخير بين أمرين، المثل أو القيمة، وهذا في قتل السيد كما سيأتي معنا.
And the second type is that which the person who does it is given the choice between two affairs, which is replacing it or its value, and this is in regards to the animals or the hunted animals, as will come shortly with us.
طيب، فقسم التخيير كفدية اللبس والطيب وتغطية الرأس وإزالة أكثر من شعرتين أو ظفرين والإمناء بنظرة والمباشرة بغير إنزال مني يخير بين 3 أمور التي ذكرها.
He says, so the categories where the individual has the choice is like the figure that is to be given for wearing something, and likewise for putting on perfume, and likewise for covering the head, and likewise for removing more than 2 hairs or 2 nails, or likewise for ejaculation due to look, or for touching, even if an individual did not ejaculate semen because of it. So the individual is given the choice between, meaning he's given the choice between the 3 things.
طبعا ما ذكره من فدية اللبس وكذلك الطيب وتغطية الرأس تقدم معنا أن الذي ورد النص بالفدية فيها هو حلق الرأس فقط في حديث كعب بن عجرة، وهذه الأمور تقاس عليه، مقيس عليه.
He said, and as far as in regards to what he mentioned from the fidya that is necessary for wearing something that is prohibited, for example, or for putting on perfume, or for covering the head, he said that of course we mentioned that the text had came in regards to the shaving of the head, as in regards to the hadith of
كعب بن عجرة,
and he says, and the rest of these 3 affairs are they are made similar to this affair, or they are done qiyas in its regard.
حيث أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال له احلق رأسك وصم 3 أيام وأطعم 6 مساكين أو انسك شاة، متفق عليه.
Since the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said to him, shave your head and
احلق رأسك وصم 3 أيام
and fast 3 days, or feed 6 masakin, or slaughter a sheep.
طيب، هنا ذكر المؤلف إزالة أكثر من شعرتين أو ظفرين، أي إذا أزال 3 شعرات أو 3 أظفار، أو الإمناء بنظرة إذا نظر إلى شيء فأمنى، أو المباشرة بغير إنزال فعليه فدية أذى.
He says, okay, here the author also mentions if he is to remove more than 2 hairs or 2 nails, meaning if he removes 3 strands of hair, for example, or 3 nails, or he ejaculates due to something that he looked at something and ejaculated because of it, or he touched something from a woman, for example, and did not ejaculate therein, then upon him he still has to give the fidya of al-adha.
لكن الصحيح من أقوال أهل العلم أن الرجل إذا أزال شعرتين أو 3 وكذلك الظفر أو ظفرين أو الإمناء بنظرة، قالوا لا شيء عليه لعدم وجود الدليل على هذا الأمر كما تقدم معنا.
He says, but that which is correct from the statements of the people of knowledge is that if an individual were to remove 2 hairs or more, 2 hairs or 3 hairs, for example, or likewise the nails, 2 or 3 of them, or if he was to look at something and ejaculate because of it, then based on what is authentic from the statement, or correct from the statements of the people of knowledge, that there is nothing necessary upon him, as we have already previously mentioned. Oh yeah, because there's no proof for these things.
يخير إذا ارتكب واحد من هذه المحظورات فإنه مخير بين ثلاثة أمور: ذبح شاة أو صيام 3 أيام أو إطعام 6 مساكين لكل مسكين مد بر. البر هو الحنطة القمح، أو نصف صاع من غيره، من غير البر أو من غير القمح.
He says, so if he was to do one of these things from the maḥdūrāt, then he is to be given the choice between slaughtering a sheep or fasting 3 days or feeding 6 masākīn. Every individual from these masākīn individuals that he feeds should get a mud of bur, which is wheat. And he says, or a half of sa of that which is other than this wheat.
والدليل على هذا هو ما تقدم، ما ذكرناه من حديث كعب بن عجرة رضي الله تعالى عنه، حيث أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أمره أن يأتي بواحد من هذه الأمور الثلاثة.
And he says the evidence for that is that which we have mentioned previously from the hadith of Ka'b ibn Ujrah, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him the choice between one of these 3 affairs.
معنى التخيير كما تعرفون أن له أن يأتي بأي واحد شاء، سواء ذبح شاة أو صام 3 أيام أو أطعم 6 مساكين فله ذلك.
And the meaning of having a choice is that the individual can do whichever one of these actions that he desires. So regardless if he slaughters an animal or the sheep, or if he was to fast 3 days, or if he was to feed 6 masākīn, he has the option and the choice to do whichever one of these things that he wills from that.
ومن التخيير أي من القسم الثاني من التخيير جزاء الصيد ممن قتله متعمدا فيخير فيه بين أمرين.
He said that from the second category of the things that the person has the choice or the option and when he gives the fidya with it is the fidya for the sayd for the individual who killed it on purpose. So he is given the choice between 2 affairs.
الأمر الأول المثل من النعم، أن يكون إذا كان هذا الحيوان الذي قتله أو صاده إذا كان له مثل من الأنعام فإنه يدفع مثله.
So the first one of them is that he give that which is similar or equivalent to it from the cattle. So if this individual was to kill from these animals that he killed, and from it there are those that are similar to it from the different types of cattle, then he has to give that which is similar to it.
وسيأتي معنا تفصيل ما له مثل وما ليس له مثل وأنواع ذلك فيما يأتي إن شاء الله.
And we will talk about the details of that which has something that is similar or equivalent to it, or something that doesn't have anything equivalent to it, and likewise the details and all of that inshallah.
أو تقويم المثل بمحل التلف,
or valuing the equivalent of that which is similar for the thing that he destroyed.
هذا فيما إذا لم يكن له مثل أو كان المثل موجود لكن لم يجده هو.
He said this is in the situation if the thing doesn't have that which is considered to be an equivalent to it, or the equivalent is present but this individual is unable to find it.
فيعرف قيمة المثل كم قيمته فيشتري بقيمته طعاما يجزئ في الفطرة.
He said so therefore he would appropriate the value of the thing that he destroyed it, and then he would take with its value and go buy food that he would feed to the masākīn individuals.
فيطعم كل مسكين مد بر أو نصف صاع من غيره.
So he would feed each miskeen individual a mud of bur, or likewise a half of sa of other than it.
أو إذا عجز عن الإطعام فإنه يصوم عن طعام كل مسكين يوما.
Or if he is incapable or unable to do this feeding to these individuals, then he should fast in place of every individual from the miskeen that he was unable to feed 1 day.
مثال ذلك لو حصل أن قيمة المثل مثل الصيد كم 100 ريال.
He said, so an example of that is if we were to suppose that the value of the equivalent to this, meaning the equivalent to this hunted animal, was 100 riyal.
وهذه 100 ريال يكفي لطعام كم 50 مسكينا.
And that this 100 riyal is sufficient for how many? For example, 50 miskeen.
فإما أن يشتري الطعام ويوزعه على كل مسكين نصف مد بر أو نصف صاع من غيره على 50 مسكينا.
So either he would take the value of this and buy with its value and feed with each of these individuals either a mud of wheat or a nisf of sa' or half of a sa' of other than it for each one of these masakin individuals.
فإن عجز عن دفع القيمة فإنه يصوم عدد المساكين. فكم يصوم من الأيام؟ 50 يوما.
And so these 50 individuals, and then if he's unable to feed these individuals or he's unable to do so, and then instead he should now go ahead and fast for the amount of each of these individuals, which is how many in number? It's 50 masakin.
دليل هذا النوع من الفدية قوله تعالى ومن قتله منكم متعمدا فجزاء مثل ما قتل من النعم يحكم به ذوى عدل منكم هديا بالغ الكعبة أو كفارة طعام مساكين أو عدل ذلك صياما ليذوق وبال أمره.
He says, and the evidence for this is the statement of Allah Ta'ala that whoever kills these from amongst you
فجزاء مثل ما قتل من النعم. إذن المثل من النعم.
Then the recompense is that which is similar to it from the cattle.
أو كفارة طعام مساكين.
Or an expiation by feeding the miskin individuals.
أو عدل ذلك صياما.
Or the amount of that by fasting.
طيب. وقسم الترتيب الذي الفدية التي على الترتيب أي لا ينتقل إلى النوع الثاني حتى يعجز عن الأول.
He said, and as far as the second category, meaning the category of order, meaning that the individual does, in regards to the fidya, meaning that the individual does not go to the second category until he is incapable to do that which he is in.
مثل دم المتعة أي دم حج التمتع والقران وترك الواجب والإحسار والوتر.
He says, so this is an example of the blood that is necessary to be slaughtered or spilled for the one who was doing mut'ah, meaning the type of hajj of tamattu', and likewise that for qiran, or likewise for leaving off something that was obligatory, or likewise from being any ihsal, any being prevented or unable to continue.
إذن من وجب عليه فدية في حج التمتع وكذلك القران أو ترك واجبا أو أحسر عن الوصول إلى البيت أي منع من الوصول إلى البيت بسبب.
He said, so therefore whoever was necessary to give the fidya due to the tamattu' hajj that he was doing, or likewise qiran, or likewise he had left off something that was obligatory, or likewise he was prevented or blocked from arriving or reaching the house, meaning he was stopped from reaching the house.
الإحسار هو أن يمنع الشخص ويحال بينه وبين الوصول إلى البيت إما بالمرض أو بالعدو أو بالمطر أو نحو ذلك من الأعذار.
He said, in this word ihsal is that an individual will be prevented from reaching the bait or the bait due to something, whether it be sickness or an enemy or rain or other than that, from the reasons that will prevent him from reaching it.
في هذه الحالة عليه الفدية على الترتيب.
So in these situations, upon him is the fidya in order.
الأول إما يجب عليه أن يذبح هديا شاة ويوزع على فقراء مكة.
So the first one is that it's necessary upon him that he slaughter a shat, that he slaughter a sheep and he distribute it amongst the fuqara or the poor people of Mecca.
إذا عدمه أو ثمنه أي إذا لم يجد الشاة أو لم يجد ثمن الشياه موجودة، الغنم موجود، لكن الرجل ليس عنده مال يشتري به، فإنه ينتقل إلى صيام 3 أيام في الحج و7 إذا رجع إلى أهله.
So if the individual is unable to do this, meaning that he is unable to do this because he does, if it's in adama, if he doesn't find the sheep that he can slaughter, or the sheep are present but he doesn't have the money to do so, he doesn't have the money in order to buy them to slaughter it, then in this situation he can therefore go on to the next one, which is that he fasts 3 days while making hajj and 7 when he returns back to his family.
هنا بالنسبة لترك الواجب نحن سيأتي معنا أن واجبات الحج الإحرام من الميقات، كذلك الوقوف بعرفة إلى الليل، كذلك المبيت بمزدلفة، المبيت بمنى، رمي الجمار، الحلق. هذه واجبات الحج.
He said, as far as the wajibat of Hajj, then it's going to come to us that they're going to be the ihram from the miqat. And likewise, the standing at Arafat by the night, before the night. And likewise, the staying the night in Muzdalifah. And likewise, the night in Mina. And likewise, the throwing of the stones. And likewise, the shaving of the head. These are the wajibat of Hajj.
إذا ترك واجب من واجبات الحج فإن عليه الدم، والدليل عليه قول ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنهما: من نسي من نسكه شيئا أو تركه فليهرق دما.
And if he leaves off one of these obligations of Hajj, then upon him is blood. And this is based upon the statement of Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, that he said, whoever forgets something from the things of the nusuk in Hajj, then upon him is that he spill blood.
وجد دلال العلماء قالوا أن مثل هذا لا يقال بالرأي فيكون له حكم الرفع. من نسي من نسكه شيئا أو تركه فليحرق دما.
That whoever forgets from his nusuk, whoever leaves off something from his ritual action, something, or he leaves it, then let him spill blood.
إذا وجه الدلالة كما قلنا أن مثل هذا الكلام لا يقال بالرأي فيكون له حكم الرفع إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
And the point of reference from this is the fact that something like this is not said from opinion, so it gets the same ruling as if the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was to have said it.
أو نقول أنه قول صحابي لم يعلم له مخالف من الصحابة فيكون حجة.
Or we would say that it is the statement of a sahabi, that there is no statement contradicting it known from amongst them, so therefore it would get it was something that would be acted by.
لكن الكلام إذا لم يجد الشاء الدم أو لم يقدر على شرائه فهل عليه الصيام أو لا؟ هذه المسألة خلافية. المؤلف ذكر أنه يصوم 10 أيام مثل دم التمتع ودم القران.
But the situation or the conversation now is about if he doesn't find any of the sheep that he can slaughter, or he doesn't have the value or the money that he can go there and buy one with, does he have to do that which is other than it from the fasting? This is something that the scholars disagree with, and the author here mentions that in this situation he would have to do so like he would have to do in regards to tamattu and likewise qiran.
القول الثاني في هذه المسألة أنه لا يلزمه الصيام لعدم ورود دليل من السنة على ذلك.
And the second statement is that it is not necessary upon him to do this fasting due to the fact that nothing has come from the sunnah in this regard.
وقياسه ما قياسه على دم المتعة قياس مع الفارق.
And as far as making it similar, or doing this qiyas with it between the blood that is necessary for the mut'ah or this tamattu hajj, then this is a type of making similar with when there's a difference present.
لأن هذا دم شكران وذاك دم جبران.
And this is because that one is a blood that is given out of any thanks or out of something for a gratitude, and this type of blood is something that is given to rectify and fix something.
طيب بالنسبة للصيام إذا لم يجد الهدي أو عجز عن ثمنه فإنه عليه 10 أيام من الصيام.
So in regards to fasting, if he doesn't find that which he can slaughter, or he doesn't find the value of which he can purchase it therewith, then upon him is that he fasts 10 days.
يصوم 3 أيام في الحج ووقتها يبدأ من حين يحرم بالعمرة.
So he would fast 3 days during his hajj, and his time would start from the moment he began his ihram for umrah.
ولا يشترط أن تكون هذه الصيام 3 أيام متتابعة.
And it is not a condition that this fasting be with 3 continuous days.
والأفضل كون آخرها يوم عرفة.
And it is preferable that the last of them be made on the day of Arafah.
أي من حين الإحرام إلى يوم عرفة يجوز له أن يصوم 3 أيام.
Meaning that from the moment he puts or goes into ihram until the day of Arafah, he should fast 3 days.
ويجوز ويصح أيضا أن يصوم أيام التشريق الأيام 3 بعد يوم العيد الأضحى.
And it's also permissible or okay that he fast the days of Tashriq, or the 3 days after the day of Nahr. No.
لحديث عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها قالت
due to the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha that she said,
لم يرخص في أيام التشريق أن يسن إلا لمن لم يجد الهدي. لم يرخص في أيام التشريق أن يسن يعني من الصيام أن يسام فيها.
He said it has not been given, it has not been allowed that the days of Tashriq be fasted except for the one who had to make up something for his Hajj.
وسبعة إذا رجع إلى أهله بعدما انتهى من الحج ورجع إلى أهله وإلى بيته يصوم 7 أيام.
He said, and then 7 after he goes back to his family, meaning after he has finished the Hajj and he goes back to his family, he would fast 7 days.
كذلك لا يشترط في هذه ال7 أيضا التتابع، فله أن يصومها متتابعة وله أن يصومها متفرقة.
He says, and likewise it is not a condition that these 7 days be done continuously. Instead it is for him that he can fast them broken up and at different points in time.
طيب إذا عجز عن الصيام لسبب من الأسباب فهل عليه الإطعام أو لا؟ الصحيح أنه لا إطعام فيها. إذا عجز عن الصيام فلا ينتقل إلى الإطعام.
So, if he were to be unable to fast due to a reason from the different reasons, then is it necessary upon him now to go ahead and feed? That which is correct is that it is not necessary upon him to go ahead and feed.
ويجب على المحسر كما قلنا من حيل بينه وبين الوصول إلى البيت بمرض أو عدو أو مطر فلم يتمكن من الوصول إلى البيت بعد الإحرام.
He says, and it is compulsory upon the muhsar, and we said that the muhsar, or the individual who had been prevented, or there is a barrier that had stopped him from reaching the bait due to it being sickness or an enemy or rain or other than that, that this type of individual is a muhsar. So if it becomes necessary upon him in this situation,
يجب عليه الدم أي ذبح الشاة أو سبع بدنه.
And in this situation it becomes necessary upon him blood, meaning that he slaughter a sheep or 1/7 of a camel.
لقوله تعالى فإن أحسرتم فما استيسر من الهدي.
And this is due to the statement of Allah Ta'ala, the translation of it, and if you had been prevented, then that which is easy from the hadi.
فإنه يذبح الهدي هناك ويتحلل ويرجع إلى أهله.
Then in this situation he would slaughter the hadi at that point, at that place, and then he would return back to his family.
فإن لم يجد الهدي
after the tahallul.
فإن لم يجد الهدي صام 10 أيام ثم حل.
So if he doesn't, if he is incapable or doesn't find his hadi, then he would fast 7 days and then then he would fast 10 days and then make the tahallul.
هذا الذي ذكره هو المذهب عند الحنابلة واختاره العلامة الشنقيطي رحمه الله أنه إذا عدم لم يقدر على الهدي أو لم يجد الهدي فإنه يصوم 10 أيام قياسا على دم التمتع ودم القران.
He said this what he has mentioned here is the madhab, and likewise is that which was chosen by the extreme scholar Shinqiti, and that is the fact that if he doesn't find or he is unable to go ahead and slaughter the hadi, then he would fast 10 days as in compared to the individual who did it in tamattu or qiran.
ويرى الشيخ العلامة ابن عثيمين رحمه الله أن إيجاب الصيام عليه فيه نظر لعدم وجود دليل من السنة على ذلك، والأصل براءة الذمة، لا نوجب على الإنسان شيئا إلا بدليل.
And he says the Shaykh Al-Allama rahimahullah, he sees that this is something, meaning this fasting is not something that is necessary upon him due to the lack of any evidence in this regards, and the origin is that a person is not held or is not forced to do something without any evidence, and there is no evidence in this regard.
إذن على قوله فإنه يحل ولا شيء عليه، يحل من الإحرام ولا شيء عليه.
So based on his statement, then this individual would remove or become free from the state of ihram, and there would be nothing necessary upon him.
ويجب على من وطئ في الحج قبل التحلل الأول.
He says, and it's necessary upon the individual who has intercourse while making hajj before the first tahallul or before the first state of leaving hajj.
سيأتي معنا كيف يحصل التحلل الأول بعد قليل.
And it's going to come as far as the meaning of how an individual will accomplish this tahallul al-awwal or this first tahallul after a little bit.
أو أنزل منيا بمباشرة أو استمناء أو تقبيل أو لمس بشهوة أو تكرار نذر.
He says, or if the person were to ejaculate due to touching, or due to masturbation, or kissing, or if he were to touch with desire, or touch repeatedly, or repeatedly look over and over.
يجب عليه بدنة أي إبل.
Then in this situation it's necessary upon him the badana, i.e. the camel, that he slaughter a camel.
الدليل على ذلك أن عددا من أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قضوا بذلك.
And the evidence for this is that a number of the Sahaba of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم made it up by way of this.
ورد فيها بعض الأحاديث المرفوعة لكنها ضعيفة.
And there has also come in this regard some ahadith that are marfu' or raised to the Prophet, but they are inauthentic.
فإن لم يجدها أي لم يجد البدنة.
So if he is unable to find it, meaning he is unable to find this badana,
صام 10 أيام 3 في الحج و7 إذا رجع.
he would fast 10 days, 3 while making Hajj, and then 7 after he would return.
هذا الذي ذكره أيضا المذهب عند الحنابلة وبه قال الحنفية.
And he says this is that which he mentioned also, which is the school of thought of the Hanabila, and also the Ahnaf have said with it.
لكن الصحيح من أقوال أهل العلم أنه لا دليل على هذا الأمر أيضا، أنه عند عدم البدنة ينتقل إلى الصيام قياسا على دم المتعة والقران، فإن هذا لا دليل عليه.
He says, but that which is more correct from the statements of the people of knowledge is that there is no evidence for this, that after he was unable to find the camel, that he would then go on into doing this fasting. There is no evidence for this. Doing so based on the tamattu, or doing so based on comparison to the Hajj of the tamattu or the Qiran.
إذن على هذا القول إذا لم يجد البدنة سقط عنه وكسائر الواجبات.
So therefore, based on this, the correct statement is that if he is unable to find this badana, or he is incapable of getting it, then the other obligations it just falls off of him. It is just removed from him.
كذلك هناك خلاف بين العلماء في إنزال المني بالمباشرة بالاستمناء أو التقبيل. الصحيح أن عليه الفدية وليست البدنة.
He says, and likewise there is a difference of agreement amongst the ulama in regards to ejaculation due to touching or masturbation or kissing, and that which is correct is that which is necessary due to this is the fidya.
وفي العمرة إذا أفسدها قبل تمام السعي شاة.
And he says in regards to the umrah, if he was to make it corrupt, or if he was to corrupt it before completing the sa'i, then he would have to slaughter a sheep. Sa'i.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله. الآن يبين المؤلف رحمه الله إذا أفسد الإنسان العمرة بالجماع وذلك بعد الإحرام وقبل تمام السعي فإن عمرته فاسدة ويجب عليه الشاء.
He said here the author is clarifying that if an individual were to corrupt his umrah after the ihram, but before making, by intercourse, after making the ihram, but before completing the sa'i, then in this situation he needs to bring the slaughtering of a sheep.
لورود ذلك عن ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنهما.
Due to the fact that this had come from in regards to Ibn Abbas رضي الله عنهما.
التحلل الأول يحصل باثنين من ثلاثة.
He says in his regards to this first tahallul, then it is accomplished by 2 of 3 things.
الثلاثة هي رمي الجمرة وحلق الشعر وطواف الإفاضة.
He said, so the 3 things are the throwing of the stones, the shaving of the hair, and likewise tawaf al-ifada.
فإذا فعل 2 من هذه الثلاثة فإنه تحلل التحلل الأول.
So if he does 2 of these 3 things, then he has now reached this state of freedom, which is known as the tahallul, the first tahallul.
فيحل له كل شيء إلا النساء.
So everything now becomes permissible for him except women.
أي حل له جميع محظورات الإحرام ما حرم عليه من أجل الإحرام من المحظورات إلا النساء فلا يجوز له قربان النساء أو جماع النساء.
Meaning it becomes permissible to him everything that used to be prohibited to him because of ihram. Meaning all of the mahdurat of ihram, they are now permissible to him in this state after the first tahallul except women.
أفعال يوم الحج 4 كما تعرفون الرمي والحلق والطواف وكذلك الذبح.
He said, so the actions on the day of Hajj are 4 as you all know. They are the rami, the throwing of the stones, likewise the shaving of the head, likewise tawaf, and likewise slaughtering.
قال العلماء أما الذبح الهدي ذبح الهدي لا علاقة له بالتحلل.
And the ulama, they say as far as the slaughtering of the hadi, that this has no connection to the tahallul or this state of freedom.
فيجوز للإنسان أن يتحلل التحلل الكامل وإن تأخر الذبح.
So it is permissible for an individual to do this complete tahallul or this complete freeing himself of the prohibited actions of ihram, even if he hadn't slaughtered yet.
إذا رمى الجمرة وحلق وطاف طواف الإفاضة فقد حل التحلل الكامل فيجوز له جميع محظورات الإحرام حتى النساء.
Meaning if he were to throw the stones and likewise shave the head and likewise make tawaf, then it becomes that he has completely done this tahallul and it becomes permissible for him all of the things even if he didn't slaughter, even including women.
والثاني أي التحلل الثاني يحصل بما بقي مع السعي.
He said, and as far as the second, meaning the second tahallul, then this is accomplished by doing that which remains in addition to it, a sa'i.
إن لم يكن سعى قبل ذلك.
Meaning if the individual had not did the sa'i before that.
إذا التحلل الثاني كما قلنا أن يأتي بالثلاثة كلها الرمي والحلق وطواف الإفاضة فإنه يتحلل التحلل الثاني أو الكامل فيجوز له كل شيء حتى النساء.
And so therefore this complete tahallul, as we said, is that the individual do all 3 of these things, from the throwing of the stones, the shaving of the head, and the tawaf of al-ifada. So if he does all 3 of these things, then he is now in the state of tahallul that is complete, or this second state of tahallul, and everything becomes permissible to him once again, including the women.
بالنسبة للتحلل الأول هناك قول ثاني للعلماء قالوا يحصل التحلل برمي جمرة العقبة. إذا رمى جمرة العقبة فقد تحلل التحلل الأول.
He said, and as far as regards to this first tahallul, then there's another statement for the people of knowledge that if an individual were to throw the stones, if he were to throw the stones in Aqaba, then he would then by doing this accomplish this state of being in the first state of tahallul.
دليله قول ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما إذا رميتم الجمرة فقد حل لكم كل شيء إلا النساء.
And the evidence for this is the statement of Ibn Abbas رضي الله عنهما that if you have thrown the stones, then you have accomplished this tahallul in everything except regards, then it has become permissible for you everything except women.
هذا القول قال به المالكية والحنابلة في رواية ورجحه الشيخ ابن باز رحمه الله وكذلك الشيخ الألباني يرحمهم الله جميعا.
He said this statement is the statement of the Malikiyya and likewise the Hanabila in a different opinion of theirs, and it has been given more strength or more predominance in evidence by Shaykh bin Baz and likewise Shaykh al-Albani. May Allah have mercy on all of them.
نكتفي بهذا القدر، صلى الله وسلم وبارك وأنعم على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
He said we'll suffice ourselves with this amount, and then he sent salat and salam upon the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
تفضل.
الحل الأول يعني إذا فعل
اثنين من ثلاثة. عندنا ثلاثة: رمي وحلق وطواف الإفاضة. فإذا رمى وحلق تحلل، أو رمى وطواف الإفاضة تحلل الأول وبقي الحلق، أو حلق وطواف الإفاضة وبقي الرمي. المهم يأتي باثنين من ثلاثة، فإذا أتى باثنين من ثلاثة فقد حل التحلل الأول.
قصدي يعني التحلل
الكامل. أيوة،
يعني الرمي والحلق والطواف.
أيوة، طواف الإفاضة.
يعني
حتى لو بقي عليه الذبح لا بأس، لأن الذبح قالوا لا علاقة له بالتحلل، فإن حتى لو تأخر الذبح فله يجوز له أن يتحلل التحلل الكامل، أي له أن يباشر زوجته وإن تأخر الذبح إلى اليوم الثالث، إلى اليوم الثاني أو نحو ذلك.
يعني هذا رأي المؤلف، والثاني إذا سعى يعني.
لا، هو تبع السعي، هذا تابع لطواف الإفاضة. إن كان طاف طواف السعي قبل ذلك فإنه لابد أن يتوب طواف الإفاضة، وإن لم يسعى فإنه لابد أن يسعى بعد طواف الإفاضة، لابد أن يسعى بعد طواف الإفاضة إن لم يسعى قبل ذلك، لأنك تعرف أنه يجوز للمتمتع وكذلك القارن أن يسعى مع طواف القدوم، فإذا سعى ليس عليه السعي مرة أخرى، وإنما عليه طواف الإفاضة فقط، ويكون قد سعى قبل ذلك.
The Shaykh Abū, the brother asked the question, and the Shaykh went on to point out some of the issues about this tahallul. So he said that the tahallul al-awwal, the first tahallul, is accomplished by three things, and by two of three things, which we said was the rami, the throwing of the stones, the halaq of the shaving of the hair, and likewise the tawaf. So if a person does any combination of two of these three things, then the person accomplishes the first tahallul. And then as far as the second tahallul, it is that he do all three of these things, and in this situation, he is completely into this state of freedom, and it is not permissible for him to do everything that was previously prohibited for him, even have relations with his women. And the brother went on to ask the question as far as what about the statement that we mentioned about the sa'i. And so the Shaykh Habib went on to respond by saying that as we know that the sa'i is connected or in a secondary to the tawaf of al-ifada, and this is because that a person has to make the tawaf of ifada. But the person who did tamattu or qiran, then as it's known that he can make the sa'i beforehand for this. But if he didn't make it beforehand for this, then he must bring it with the tawaf of al-ifada here.
يا شيخ، التمتع والقران هو المفرد والقارن. الذي يقدم السعي المفرد والقارن. الذي يقدم سعي الحج. المفرد والقارن.
الذي يقدم.
أي صحيح، المتمتع لابد أن يأتي بعمرة كاملة وحج كامل، جزاك الله خير. هو المفرد والقارن، لأن أعمال القارن والمفرد واحدة. أما المتمتع لا، لأنه يأتي بعمرة ثم يأتي بحج كاملا. جزاك الله خير، جزاك الله خير. المفرد والقارن صحيح.
The brother Barakallahu fi, he pointed out a point that there is not the one who is making tamattu' and the qarin, instead is the one who is doing ifrad, or the mufrid and the qarin, because the mutamatti' is necessary that he bring a complete umrah and likewise a complete hajj. But as far as the mufrid and the qarin, then their actions are the same.
If the person has two similar offenses, like of the same type, the same fidyas form, does he have to do two fidyas or one? And the other one, if the person wants to complete the marriage and his marriage is not sahih, does he have to do it over later?
السؤال الأول إذا ارتكب محظورتان أو محظورتان من جنس واحد، هل يلزمه فديتان أو يكفي بفدية واحدة؟ مثل أن حلق ولبس المخيط.
هذا من جنسين ليس من جنس واحد، يكون عليه فدية لحلق الرأس وفدية لنفس المخيط.
أو يعني مثلا
مثلا شخص الآن غطى راسه هذا عليه فدية، وإذا لبس المخيط مثلا عليه فدية، وإذا حلق الرأس عليه فدية. إذا تجتمع عليه ثلاثة فدية.
مع أن الفدية في كل واحد نفس الشيء.
أي نفس الشيء.
يلزمه ثلاثة. والسؤال هو الثاني، إذا قلنا أن النكاح لا يصح للمحرم، يعني what was the last part about the nikah not being sound? What does he have to do? What was the question? If the marriage is... Oh,
لا لابد يقولون النكاح على الصحيح من أقوال أهل العلم أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى عن ذلك، والنهي يدل على الفساد، على فساد المنهي عنه، فالنكاح غير صحيح، فلا بد أن يعيدوا النكاح مرة أخرى. وفي هذا النكاح عليهم إثم، وأن يتوبوا إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى. ارتكبوا يعني معصية ومخالفة قول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، فلا بد أن يتوبوا ويعيدوا النكاح بعد الإحرام.
The brother Barakallahu fihi, the answer to the first part of the question was that if a person does, he said an example of what? How can it be from the same category? So we said, for example, if a person, were to wear the makhid and likewise shave his head. He said the question already. He said that the question was that if a person was to do a mahdhur from the same categories, the same category more than once, would he have to do more than one fidya? He said that an example of what? So we said the example as far as saying if he were to wear something that was makhid and likewise shave his head. He said this is an example of different categories. He said that this in this situation would be different categories. So for example, if a person was to wear perfume, shave his head, and wear the makhid, then in this situation he would have to bring three fidya, and he would have to bring three of them. Even though that the fidya would be the same for each of them, he would have to bring it 3 times. And as far as the marriage, then the marriage, if the brother asked the question that if a person was to get married while in the state of ihram, and since we said it's not sound, that they have to repeat the contract, he said yes, based on that, which is more correct from the statements of the people of knowledge, is that he has to do it based on the fact that the Prophet forbade this, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this forbiddance necessitates corruption, and it necessitates that the action is not sound. So therefore that they have to redo this contract, and upon them is the sin that they have done, and they need to make tawbah to Allah due to the fact that they have undertaken a disobedience. So upon them they need to make this tawbah, and they need to redo the contract afterwards.
السبت الأيام الذي يقضيها يصوم بعد الحج إلى متى؟ هل ينتهي؟
لا ما في تحديد، المهم كل ما استعجل الإنسان يكون أبرع للذمة، يعني إذا قدر عليها بعد العودة إلى بلده أن يبرئ ذمته ويصومها بسرعة، لكن ليس هناك تحديد.
وإن مات يطلع عنه بالصيام أو
لا ما أدري عن هذا، لكن عليه أن يصوم 7 أيام إذا رجع إلى أهله، وكل ما استعجل فهذا أولى وأبرأ لذمته، لكن كوجود حد أنه لا يتجاوز ذلك ما أعلم دليل على ذلك.
I asked the question about the 7 days that he has to make up after returning back to his family. Is there a limit in time to where he needs to make them up at? And he said that I don't know anything about that, but of course every time somebody hurries up and expedites this thing, then this is more clearing to his honor and his honor in the state. So as far as there being a time period that it ends with, then I don't know any evidence for this situation.